With the provincial election just around the corner, time is running out for those who remain undecided about which candidate or which party they will ultimately cast their vote. While unions come out and publicly throw their support behind an individual candidate to guide their membership, other organizations remain nonpartisan and are more concerned about presenting opportunities to their membership to learn more about the candidates, their parties, and their platforms, and encouraging their members to make decisions based upon what they feel they need from their representative at Queen's Park. Strive Young Professionals Group is an example of a community-based organization whose main concern is getting out the vote. And today, the chair of Strive will join me on point. I'm Tim Murphy, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Welcome back to On Point, and my guest today is Ashlee Gerard. Hi, Ashlee.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well. Nice to see you again.
You too.
Ashlee, you are the chair of the Strive Young Professionals Group, correct? YPG, Strive YPG.
That's right.
And we have a hashtag we're trending, getting ready for this election, and it is?
Strive to be informed.
Strive to be informed, because you're all about getting the vote out and getting people to understand what the issues are, to learn what matters to them, and to search for through the different parties to decide who would best represent their interests, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, and that's what the democracy is all about ultimately.
It is.
So it's kind of like shopping around.
That's what we're trying to get people to do. And we had a great event last week.
Yes, you did. It was held at Low and Slow.
It was, and it was such an intimate experience for our members and our non-members, really just a young professional demographic, to listen to a really tailored approach to the current affairs that our politicians are speaking about.
Right, and especially hoping that they would relate to their audience, which are young professionals.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about Strive itself.
Sure.
Can you give me a bit of a background around the organization and how it's affiliated with the Chamber of Commerce and how people become members and what the organization does?
Right. So Strive Young Professionals Group was founded 6 years ago by an ambitious group of young professionals who approached the Chamber in hopes of creating a partnership with them to encourage young professionals to also consider being chamber members in the future.
So this is almost a way to keep the chamber membership up and keep people involved in understanding why it's important to be involved in the
business community.
In the business community.
An active voice and really being in touch with the current affairs that affect business as well.
Right. So wait a minute. Strive is completely locally formed?
Yes.
See, I did not know
Yes.
that. I thought that Strive was something that was sort of like either a provincial or national or something. It was an already established organization that this was a chapter of it or something.
Now it is.
Oh.
Essentially, across Ontario, there is a network called the Young Professionals Network of Ontario, who provide best practice and tips for young professional groups across Ontario.
Okay.
So there are a number of young professional groups. We are here in Sault Ste. Marie.
Okay.
Yes, and everyone has their own brand, their own name, their own initiatives that they prepare and they set up for their communities.
But because every community is different.
Of course.
And okay. Tell me again, the provincial group is called what?
The Young Professionals Network of Ontario.
Okay.
So YPNO is what they go by typically.
And do you, as would anybody from Strive here in Sault Ste. Marie, attend any kind of workshops or events that are put on by the provincial sort of group?
There is
do they do any mentoring
They just
or
do
stuff?
a meeting that kind of keeps everybody in the loop on what is going on. So our communications communications position would attend those via teleconference.
Okay. Oh, for teleconferencing and stuff, right.
And then they also issue YP Week. So Young Professionals Network of Ontario has declared 1 week in May as Young Professionals Week.
Oh, how did it go?
It was fantastic. It's fantastic. So in Sault Ste. Marie, we've really found the issue with a young professionals group is defining what a young professional is.
What a young professional is.
Yes, so for the last 2 years, we've been really focused on inclusivity and redefining or clarifying who is considered a young professional in Sault Ste. Marie. And if you have a job and you want to excel in your career, then
you're a young professional.
You're in.
How young is young?
19. You know what?
Really?
Seriously.
19?
Seriously.
Well, I mean, I guess that's the age that people are coming out of high school, and some people come out of high school
and start working
right away and starting their own
And
businesses.
imagine having a support group of your peers when you first start a business at that age bracket. And those are always going to be things that we're thinking about and considering as we move forward.
Right, because I mean there are other organizations too that help start up businesses starting up or entrepreneurial, promoting the entrepreneurial spirit.
Of course.
What's the one? Does the Economic Development Corporation help?
Yes, they have two different funding programs. One is Summer Company and one is Starter Company.
Okay.
Summer Company is for students returning to school. So if you're going to college or university, you can still access that funding to support your business for the summer business, as opposed to getting a summer job.
So does Strive work at all with the Economic Development Corporation?
Not hand in hand, but we have the information.
Would you do referrals and stuff to you let them know that they exist and that they can go to them?
Yeah.
This was our first segment. Now, how fast did that go?
That was wonderful.
I'm telling
Is
you.
it okay?
I know, yes. So
I jumped into our event too soon. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. We have so much more to talk about. So we'll be back.
Great.
We only take 60-second commercial breaks here on
Okay,
TV.
cool.
So it's good that it flies by too.
That's really crazy.
I know. So stay with me, Tim, and Ashlee on point, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Perfect.
Murphy here, joined by Ashlee Gerard from Strive Young Professionals Group. We were talking before we went to break about the demographic that make up the members of Strive.
Yeah.
So, and how great it is that at 19 is the entry-level age for young professionals who want to get some assistance in starting out in their careers. How far does this extend as far as your membership goes with entrepreneurs?
The demographic that we appeal to, I guess, would be young professionals from 19 to 40.
Okay, so
Yes.
is young is still considered 40?
Yes.
Oh, I just missed it by 13, 15. Oh my God, I'm
We'll
old.
still have you in it. Young at heart
Thank
counts
you.
too, yeah.
Young at heart counts too.
Yeah.
And is it all entrepreneurs or like business owners or
So I think that this
do they
has
all own
been
businesses, people?
right. So when we first set out with our YP Week campaign, which
Right.
we referred to before, part of our initiative is to really redefine what a young professional is. So because we're tied with the chamber, we have a lot of opinions or a lot of people who think that because we're tied with the chamber, we only focus on business owners, entrepreneurs. When in reality, young professionals could be anybody who's working and making a difference in the community.
So can you name some, for instance, what would a young professional be that I wouldn't normally, maybe not think of immediately as a young professional? Is there anybody working in an office anywhere, you mean, kind of thing, or like what?
It's whoever really just wants to be part of the experience, gain knowledge through professional development opportunities, and then work and meet up with like-minded
young people who are in business and who are
absolutely.
working.
So like librarians to sales to
librarians. See, now I never thought about
engineers to doctors to bankers to lawyers. We really have just a really diverse demographic of people.
So you get to network with all these other people in your community who are also looking to make a difference and to make things better in the community and to grow the economy and to develop business and come up with new ideas.
And who are in similar stages of life to what you are. So there's always a commonality. If you're 19 or 40, it's easy to facilitate conversations, to lead into conversations because we're all have gone through or are going through or will go through the same life stage.
And it's interesting too because I guess within the 19 to 40, you've also got these other demographics that would come together. For instance, so you've got people who are just starting out, who probably have no interest in a lot of things that people who have been in business for a while.
Or in their careers for a while.
In their careers for a while, right. So, like for instance, if I'm 19 years old, I might care about other issues besides things like retirement plans or health care for my kids, or all of those things are further down the road for me. Whereas immediately I want to know about assistance, I want to know about funding opportunities, I want to know about taxation and how to keep these costs down, social media marketing.
There's a lot of different ways that we can support. And the biggest thing with our organization is we are organized by a group of volunteers who are waiting for input from our members to plan these events. Right now, there are some members who do come forward and saying, we'd like to see this, or we'd like to see less of that. But to have a really active membership would be something that we're working towards, and we really want the feedback on what's appealing and what do people want to attend and what's going to benefit young professionals the most in Sault Ste. Marie.
Now, there's something else, and thank you, by the way, because you guys invited me, Strive invited me to be a Master of Ceremonies for your awards. Was that just this? It was last year, right?
It was just in January.
Was it just in January?
I know.
Gosh, so much has happened since
So
then.
many things.
You know what happened since then? I got a TV show. So, but that event, we had what a night that was.
That was such a fun
You guys, it was like, it was this great, it was like a black tie. People got dressed up to the nines. Not everybody, you didn't have to, but it was fun. You had live entertainment and meals and prizes and awards, and there was mingling. I walked in there and I thought, look at this. These people are all seriously 30, 20, 30, 40 years old. Young married couples, unmarried people, people standing around mingling, mixing and mingling, and it was just like, it reminded me of probably what it was like for my dad in the 1950s as a young lawyer in Sault Ste. Marie, and they'd all go to the Algo Club and hang around and social, and because that's a huge part of the community too, is the social aspect of it.
And the most important part about the Strive Gala is really recognizing the people who are making a difference as a young professional. When you look at business ceremonies and award ceremonies currently, they're all celebrating amazing, magnificent achievements and lifetime achievements. We've only been in business for 10 to 15 to 20 years, but we're still making the same difference.
Yes.
So it's really, that was our goal, and I think we were able to accomplish our goal in recognizing some really incredible up-and-comers in all industries, as you know.
Yes.
So restaurants and environmental
since
and trees.
Since Angela Caputo won her award, her Strive Award for the Breakfast Pig, she's gone on to open another restaurant, I think it's called the Golden Child
Kitchen.
Yeah. And this is she's a perfect example. Ken and Lee from the Grand Gardens, I talk about how they are also perfect examples of young professionals. Started off working in the kitchen at Amuyo's, and then going on to now owning 2 of these successful banquet halls in the city.
Karen Lefebvre and Paul Caputo were our Strive Young Professionals of the Year this year. We had a male and a female, and they're still just doing amazing things with their companies and with their charities.
We're going to take a little break, and when we come back, let's now start focusing on the upcoming election. So we're filming this Tuesday, May the 5th. So in 2 days, we're going. The polls are currently open for advanced polls, but in 2 days it's going to be the election, and I want to talk a little bit about what Strive has done to try to get the vote out. Okay, so stay with us. Ashlee Gerard and I will be right back after this brief message on Point. Thanks for sticking around. See, sticking around on Point. Ashlee, I want to talk. It's a very serious show.
I know.
I want to back up now because we started the segment off talking about the event.
Yes.
Which was having the all candidates event.
All candidates.
So this was held at Low and Slow.
In the upstairs, did you know there's an upstairs room?
Well, you know what? I remember from when it used to be the Marconi restaurant.
Okay,
the new Marconi was called.
yes.
And there's a little banquet.
It's beautiful.
Is it?
And it's
well,
so
they probably
perfect.
redone it all. So 'cause
Yes.
I haven't been up there in years.
I believe it's called Room 21, and it's very, very quaint and perfect for
and
what
it's
you're
available
doing.
for bookings. There's a little plug for Low and Slow.
There you go, Low and Slow.
Ashley gets a discount on her next meal. So you're upstairs there, and you had the 4. You had Green, Liberal, PC, and NDP, yes? Oh, no, and you had Northern Ontario. You had 5
That's
of them.
5.
Right on.
All there.
So the only one, Libertarian, which is
Right.
Lance Brizard, but he's got a job, and it's really difficult for him to get away to attend these things. But he's very committed too, and so you can check out the Libertarian Party too by checking out Lance Brizard. But so in attendance, you had those 5 represented.
Yes. So each candidate was given 10 minutes to speak to the young professional demographic in that small setting, in that comfortable setting where
Ashlee, 10 minutes is a long
It's a long time.
Did they all take up did they go the full 10?
Not all of them.
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do, especially when you're trying to cater to something so specific. And preparing them, we said you have the ears of young professionals in Sault Ste. Marie.
This is your audience,
it.
right?
So what do you focus on?
So
and what
sell
do you talk
yourself
about?
to this audience, young professionals.
Yes.
How was it well attended by the young professionals?
Very well attended. We were so pleased to see so many non-members attend.
Standing room only full or what?
Standing room only.
Really?
All the bar chairs, all the chairs were just full. We had a beautiful spread of.
You had food?
We had food, free food.
See, this is something we're talking about. It's like, trying to get people out to vote and pay attention, not just to vote, but to pay attention to the issues and to go to these all candidates meetings and events where they get the breakfasts and stuff that the chamber does. And he's like, well, here we were, we had free food and come on out and at least eat the free food to listen.
Right.
So it is a great idea to go and socialize and have a little munch.
That's right.
So, and the food was all gone by the end?
Food was gone.
Hungry
It was
young
delicious.
professionals.
We are.
Yes.
And thirsty.
Well, you're growing. So, they had 10 minutes each to talk.
Yes.
Did they take any questions? Or?
They did. So
They did.
we had about a half an hour at the end,
Mm-hmm.
and it was an open forum where whoever was there, as well as whoever was texting in or emailing in
You did
live,
that?
we did. So we had a few questions come in from people watching on our Facebook page, as well as from the audience.
See, I want to do that. I want to do that on TV. Guys, I want to do that here. When we have, because we have more elections coming up. We've got
That's
the municipal
It's gonna
and
be,
then
that would be so interesting
to
be
do the
able
live
to do
stuff.
some live questioning.
We can totally
and-
do that.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to do that. Did you get any questions?
We had 3 questions come in.
Really? That's
so
good.
it was really, really interesting. Yes.
And what about in the room itself? Questions?
Of course.
Yes.
Very vocal. Some really tailored questions, and then also just some really interesting questions. So if you were the prime minister, what would your platform, or like who would you want to represent, or
right.
those kinds of, just really well thought out questioning
Questions.
from the young professionals that attended. Yeah.
And so then, now the decision-making process happens. So after they hear all these things, then they got to go start thinking. And do you speak to the crowd as well, or does Strive itself? Are you represented at the podium saying, so now you've heard them, and what you should do is, do you?
No, of course not. Of course not. And that goes back to
No,
our
not
time
to
ago-
tell them what to vote,
No,
just to say
okay.
how to do their homework. I mean, because for instance, don't you have a resource?
There are resources available. VoteNow.ca perhaps is one of the tools that we're promoting to really find out where you align with political parties in Ontario. So.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, today I think I saw a tweet from Strive, and it was talking about there was another place where you click here and it's going to give you the rundown on everybody. Like it's sort of one-stop shopping, telling you look here and you're going to find out what you need to know.
Yeah.
And I guess it's important to decide what's important to you.
Of course.
What are the issues that are affecting you?
I read something today which was really interesting.
Tell me.
And because there's been so much contention around who to vote for and what party, and it's just feels almost even or really undetermined still. The biggest thing, and what we really want to tell young professionals especially, is just to trust your gut and to go with the party that you feel like is going to represent your voice the most.
Yeah, and I always get stuck between
it's
party
hard.
or person or platform or, are you going to vote for the individual? Are you going to vote for the leader of the party? Are you going to vote for the platform of the party? It's really,
Trust your gut.
voting's hard.
Voting's hard.
But it's worth it. I mean, this is what we have to do. This is how
And that's the
democracy
point
works.
of these events, and not just us, the Chamber of Commerce, the city, everyone is trying to make it less hard by
Right.
pulling the candidates together and highlighting where they stand and who they are going to be standing for. And
Right. Okay, when we come back, we're going to take another little
Yeah,
break.
of
And
course.
for our last segment, when we come back, we're going to take a look at, you brought in a chart for us to show us, you did a poll after the event.
Yes.
And you got results from the young professionals who were in attendance.
We did.
And I want to see how they felt after
Uh-oh.
it was all over and done. So stay with us. We'll be right back after a short message with Ashlee and Tim on Point. Welcome back to On Point, and we are talking about the elections coming up just in a couple of days and about getting the vote out. Pardon me, Ashlee Gerard is here. She's the chair of the Strive Young Professionals
Right.
Group. So you had the event, and after it was over, you held a poll. Did a poll?
we did a poll. So before we go into that, I just want to say
Yes.
the main goal of what we're trying to do is strive in getting people out to vote and getting people educated is we don't want to be underrepresented again for our demographic. So it's really important that we continue to talk about these kinds of things and about the results that we have. So.
Can I ask you then, before we look at the poll results, thinking back to the questions that were posed of the candidates, were there some issues that seem to be common threads amongst those in attendance, or that you've heard that are concerns of members of Strive or young professionals? Anything in particular? Were they talking about tax bases or that kind of stuff?
Not particular. No.
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 It was just general questions about
Really just general questions. Nothing that really questioned where they financially stood, I guess. And
well,
yeah,
there's not a lot of information out there where they stand financially. It keeps changing all the time.
Yes.
So then let's. It is, but you know what? That's one of the things too. It's hard to make a decision when you don't have all the information.
Right.
So let's take a look at the polls and see how they
Yes.
sort of might go. Oh, all right. So the NDP is the orange, and we're seeing at 14.8%.
That's right.
At Liberal, 25.9%.
Yes.
Now that surprises me.
It's very interesting.
I don't know. I'm just okay. And then the PC, 37.1%.
Correct.
Well, that doesn't surprise me too much because, I mean, traditionally, I think conservative means helping businesses. The PC party generally has been related to business and
with business interests in mind.
business interests in mind. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs are very much conservative minded when it comes to the economy and
But you say
cost
that,
cutting
yet
and spending. And
the majority of people in the room weren't entrepreneurs at the event.
they weren't?
No,
What were they?
young professionals.
Oh! So they weren't necessarily people
They weren't
who
necessarily
own. See,
people
you
who
just
own
did it. You just
businesses.
caught me because right away I was going right back
Yeah.
to, well, we're talking about people who own businesses, and you've just told me earlier in the segment, Tim. Strive is not just about people who own
Right.
businesses. It's about professionals, people of this demographic, of this age. Okay, so can I bring the chart back up, Mike? Because there was a couple of things I didn't go. Okay, so look at that now, 14.8% undecided. That's huge, because you take that amount, that could turn everything around on its head, which is, I think,
It
also
could.
what's kind of been happening.
And I think it's for the people who
Thanks, Michael.
perhaps did choose undecided and they still don't know. It's just waiting for more information.
Right.
Or really haven't been able to go through each of the platforms well enough to make an educated decision. Maybe that's a good thing, and it shows that we're wanting to be educated before we go and say,
Listen,
okay.
I was undecided up until basically yesterday. We had the debate here on TV, and I went home and did some more thinking, and basically it was really just about yesterday I finally made my decision. And once again, personally, I've decided that I'm going to go for the person. I've saw a candidate that I just thought was, as far as I'm concerned, the best person to represent me and be a voice for me in Queen's Park, and that's who I'm voting for. So this time around, I'm not going for a party or, well, the person that I'm voting for does have a platform that I kind of like, but it's not everything that I want. But, you know, when are you going to find, it's kind of like dating. If you just keep holding out for the perfect mate, you'll never go on a date.
Okay.
You got to try different things and see where they go. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's just like a 4-year. It's like a 4-year courtship.
It is a 4-year courtship. And one that we need to be educated on. And
We do.
We need to learn more about each party, and we have a couple days to do it.
We have a couple of ways still to do it. And so, on behalf of Strive and the chamber
And the chamber, of course.
we're asking you to do your homework, do that final bit of research, make your mind up,
Yeah.
and
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Strive to be informed.
Strive to be
That's
informed.
all.
Hashtag strive to be informed.
Yes.
And go to those websites that have that information for you, where you can look
And
up.
reach out to the candidates too. We have a forum started on our Facebook page where we're tagging the candidates in any questions that people may have. You can leave your question either privately with us and we'll post it on your behalf, or you can directly contact the candidate that you have a question for and get the answers that you want to hear.
You just wrapped up this segment beautifully with that. So with that, Ashlee and I are going to say, get the vote out, make your vote count, and you know what? You don't have to vote for a candidate who's going to win to make your vote count. When you vote, your voice is being heard, whether you're speaking for the majority or the minority. Green Party, Northern Ontario Party, if you vote for them, it's going to show up. People will see that their numbers have increased in the number of votes they get, you know? And that is an indicator to everybody else in the province that these are things that matter, that there are people who care about these issues. And it may not be the voice you're sending to Queen's Park, but at least it's a voice that is speaking in our community that's being encouraged by your support. So that those candidates, maybe they'll come back again, like Cara Flanagan. She's going to keep on going. Good for her, you know what? She's making a difference. So congratulations to all the candidates. We wish you the best. Thank you for your time and for your efforts, because that's a big deal.
And thank you on behalf of Strive as well, because taking that time out, it's 2 hours. They have packed schedules. We really appreciated the thought that they put into their presentations and just them being there and being present and taking questions. So.
And thank you, Ashlee, for coming and sharing this with us. And it's always interesting to hear about what the perspective is of a different demographics when it comes to things like this. You know you're always welcome back, both ONNpoint, and come in and see us sometime, Mornings with Luann and Tim. If you've got any events going on or fun stuff that you want the community to know about, we're here for you.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And thank you for joining us. We'll be back the next time on ONNpoint with Tim Murphy. We'll see you then. Take care.